I think it's Saturday. It's like 4 o'clock in the morning and I can't sleep. Uh, so I wanted to do a video. I had done a few videos earlier, and it was like letting the dam burst. And I didn't post them, but I'll like if I'm in a rocky kind of mood and one thing triggers me, it will trigger a plethora of things. And so I went on and I wanted to post it. It's like you want to share it with the world. I suppose to be validated, but not really. It's because we want to be seen, we want to be heard, but so many of the things that we are fighting or battling against are inside of ourselves. Uh, no, I haven't had any coffee. I took an allergy medication. I should be asleep, but I couldn't fall asleep. And the energy, too, most people are sleeping. I feel energy on a very deep level. So I, I can get more quiet when, like, most of the world is asleep or, before the sun comes up. I don't even have to hear traffic. It'll just be 9 o'clock, and a lot of people are waiting for their Dunkin' Donuts and impatient, and life is beginning. And I feel that on a quiet lanai out back. It's okay. But what I wanted to really address, I was thinking about somebody that I had been with a long time ago. And I remembered just kind of being like, okay, this is it. I'm in my 40s. It was good enough. And it's almost like God took me away and He said, I'm going over there and I'm going to suffer with you because that's not good enough. Not the person or even the situation. It was like in my mind, like that one piece of my life that was missing was the Prince Charming, happily ever after, like you've got a man with you and a house or something, maybe marriage. It's like I just settled. I hate using that word because when you use that word, you're giving yourself this lack of worth because you don't know you're settling. We've been brought up in a matrix where we watched Cinderella and you just had Prince Charming and then everything else would make sense, except that's fake. And people can say it's a cartoon or whatever, but really, we were, as children, my generation, we were programmed for Prince Charming. And there are people that look like they've got the princess life with Prince Charming. And then those people, they've got it all, everything that was there that they were supposed to have from the time that they were little, and they're unhappy. And they don't understand why. It's very rare if, unless it's a high school sweetheart or some type of soul connection. But it was like God said, no, this isn't enough for you, Tracy. And so here's cancer, here's this, here's that. And I kind of got unraveled. Meanwhile, I'm trying to swim back to the thing that I thought would just finally complete me. And it really was like God said, well, you're worth more than that. So in your nervous system and in your consciousness and in your mind and in your heart, you're going to suffer as though you're not good enough for what I know isn't good enough for you. And I'll be there with you. Like I can see that now. And so often when we don't get what we expect from people, and they're people, they've got their own mind, even though a lot of them will project a different image in order to impress you. And generally that doesn't work if you're a truthful human who values honesty and humbleness, humility. Like these people think that every person that they come into contact with, a partner, is going to expect what they are not. So then they play the part that they are not. And somebody like me can feel that, and it's like, well, maybe it'll change. And then it gets all fucked up because nobody's being real. And then it just kind of explodes, but you try again and again. And the way that I thought about it was, because I don't hate this person. There are bad people out there, evil people that have bad intentions, but this person, it's not like that. But I had like a metaphor in my head, and this is when I decided to do the video. It just kind of was like, oh. So it's like the person that you're trying to keep afloat, like level, like a ship in the ocean. You're trying to keep it level so it doesn't sink, but there's a leak, there's a hole in this part, and it starts to sink over there, and then another hole pops open and the water's coming and it's sinking down. And throughout your relationship, you're running to the back of the boat to lift it up, and once you've patched up that hole, which is temporary, you run over to the front to lift that up. Then it pops open because it's just like it's a temporary fix. It's a temporary patch on that hole that's going to leak again. And you just go back and forth, and you're trying to keep this thing level that is impossible to keep level. And that's kind of all that it was for me. But I had made this mountain out of a molehill because by 40-something I was supposed to have Prince Charming. And I was just, and he probably would have settled, but his way was just come and go. And whenever he was ready to level up, it's like I'm holding the back of the boat, but then the front would start to leak and start sinking. So then I'd run over there. And then if I'd go away, then he's chasing after my boat that's not level. I'm trying to get myself back, and now I've got all these leaks in my boat and it's sinking, but it's like I can't lift up my own and his. And those are kind of relationships that are just, you try to fix them, but not because you really think that you can put the right part in this hole in the boat that won't leak ever again. It comes from this delusion from the cartoons when we were little. And it just kind of dawned on me tonight. It's like, that's what I was trying to do. That's really how it was. We were just trying to fix something that and it would be temporary, and then just and it's hard. I mean, you get used to a thing. You just do. It's like after enough time goes by, it just seems like this is the normal thing to do. I want to wake up and hold up the boat, and then do I have to go to the front or to the back? Which one do I do? It's like your nervous system just kind of becomes acclimated into a literal electrical field that just does that. Do you know what I'm saying? All the time. We do this with friendships, we do it with family, and we're always trying to fix it and level it, and it's impossible. Sometimes you've got to let that boat sink. And it doesn't mean you have to send the team down to salvage it. You'll want to, but you can't. And that's when you just give yourself permission to kind of level up your own boat, to kind of go sailing on your own. And it's weird at first because it's different, but you've got to, I hate saying you've got to. It's a direction that really is like, okay, it's like God's going with you. I know that you think that doing that for the rest of your life is living happily ever after, but maybe in a year or two, I'm going to show you that I brought you over here because, honey, it was too much weight for you, and I didn't like that. I didn't like that somebody else was expecting you to do that. It wasn't that you weren't good enough or that he wasn't good enough. It was just too much weight for you. And now you see that you can sail on your own, and if you're sinking, at least it's like, and then we reach out to others and expect them to help us because we've done so much, but they've got their own weight going too. And, like I said, I was kind of getting all rocky on my videos earlier, but I let the dam go. And we do that internally too. We sit there and we secretly and invisibly, patch up our own things in order to make everybody else think that we're this perfect level boat sailing along in the ocean. And we're not. Nobody is. And it's time to, not time, but it's okay to show another person, hey, I've got this leak over here, I'm sinking. And if they want to push you in, then you just move away. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's not, it's on you if you want to patch up those leaks that weigh you down in the ocean and cause you to be unlevel, but there's nobody, even if they're helping you to patch it up, it's your boat, it's your thing. This is your human experience. This is your body. This is your vessel. This is your mind. This is your body. This is your spirit. This is your consciousness. And that person who's so desperately trying to fix you usually is somebody who has just patched up all their links or leaks, and they're floating steadily for the time being, and they need you to as well, because then they'll know that it was okay to just do whatever they did with their own boat. Mine's level, so yours needs to be too. It's like, no. Why don't you check and make sure that nothing's going to pop open or leak on your own, because you will be sinking at one area of your friggin' boat pretty soon. Just let me fix mine. I'm so exhausted, but I wanted to put this up for me. I don't know if I'll post it, but it was like, all right, I know I took my allergy pill. It's the middle of the night. I'm exhausted, but at least I'm not, getting in the ring. I just feel after venting, it's like therapy when you I think I did a video about this before, where if you just kind of like let it out on a video to yourself and watch it, you can understand things better, and it feels good. It's like you're letting the dam burst without anybody having to help you build a new dam. And once it bursts and you're all alone, and it's just kind of like, oh good, the water's running smoothly like nature intended. And what dam? Like what was this wall holding back all the stuff that's normal? I hope this makes sense. I'm gonna replay it, but I wanted to share it. A lot of us are, I don't want to say in isolation, but we've got the means to get alone. That's what I wanted to point out. You know, so many people talk about meditating. Oh, you just need to get quiet, just get quiet. But they're meditating every day and getting quiet every day. So when you just let that dam burst all by yourself or with a good friend or whatever, however you're comfortable with, make sure you're comfortable. You know, alone is usually good. Then you don't have to go to a meditation spot every single day unless you simply want to hear the birds. You just let the dam burst. But most people who are like in their meditation zone 17 times a day, they're patching up that dam. Their meditation is, uh-oh, I'm having a leak. Stop it. Uh-oh, they won't even allow it in. You just let that dam go, and then you don't have to stop and meditate every day because you've let it go. Just enjoy the cardinals and the crickets, but you let it all go. It doesn't happen overnight, but there's no happily ever after. Mold. There's nothing perfect. We're not supposed to be perfect. Nobody is. Have a good night.